Back day today, back in biceps of the new training block. So a lot more volume this week, a lot more volume for the next few weeks. First exercise is an isolation exercise, pre-exhaustion. It's one of the few exercises I'm going to take to absolute failure today. Higher rep range, already did one set. 2 sets left, between 10 to 15 reps. Oh, burns like a motherfucker. So I've got 2 back days in my split at the moment. One is more upper back focused, which is today at the beginning of the week. And then another one that's more lat focused. So today is going to be mostly movements that involve a lot of scapular retraction, protraction, elevation, depression, thoracic extension, etc. But I gotta say, my lats are already pretty pumped from the straight arm pull down. So we're doing 2 sets, pretty heavy here, between 6 to 10 reps, and then another 2 sets between 10 to 15. So let's see how this first one goes. Okay, final set, 4th set, and a higher rep range. I'm going to do these ones a little bit faster. By the way, guys, I'm not taking every single set to absolute failure today. Given I'm doing a lot more volume, I want to first get used to this amount of sets. But nonetheless, it's going to be intense. Hmm. 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 Oh. Ah. 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 Fuck. Oh. Third exercise, T-bar row, pronated. Finally, I'm not doing this exercise at the very end, so I can actually load a little bit more. So I'm going to start with 4.5 plates, between 5 to 7 reps. I think I could maybe potentially do 5, but let's see how this goes today. I've actually never done 4.5 plates. So, but as we said today, we want to test the waters with the weights, not taking the sets to absolute failure, considering the increase of the volume. But I might actually take this one. Just this one to failure, just for my own ego and my own satisfaction. Fuck. I keep forgetting to mention that the rest times now are a lot shorter, which makes a massive difference. When you're resting only a minute and a half to 2 minutes in between sets, it's a different conversation. Your performance just, it drops drastically from set to set. This isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just a different style of training. So yeah, just finished here at the T-bar row. Completely forgot to film my last set. It was a good one though. So I ended up with 2 sets. I did 15 with 3.5 plates, and then 15 again with 3 plates. We're done with back now. We're moving on to training rear delts. I usually have a side delt exercise as well. My delts are battered from yesterday, so I'm just going to do rear delts, which are not feeling too bad right now. and then biceps as well. But yeah, we're up in the food now, so we've got more fuel in the tank to use and to reach saturation with. First bicep exercise, it's a incline bench dumbbell curl. Very simple in concept. The idea is to keep the shoulder in slight extension to work on a bicep in a bit of a longer state. It's not my favorite exercise, but it's an exercise I want to get good at. I've got a shit supination, especially on my left arm. My left wrist is just really bad. It doesn't really rotate much. So this means I essentially need to accelerate and rotate the shoulder. And that's kind of the rule. Every time the supination isn't that great, accelerate and rotate the shoulder up until you find the right alignment with the floor. Always be conscious of where the resistance is coming from, of the line of resistance. And this is generally going to help you position yourself better. Used to doing biceps at the end of a back day. I normally alternate. So if I train back, I would do triceps because the triceps are more fresh, so they can get a bit more work done. But this is, again, another way to accumulate a bit more volume, since the biceps, in a way, they have been trained already today. I'm basically overloading on them. So I'm not expecting a lot in terms of my performance, but nonetheless, it should feel good. So 2 sets between 8 to 12, 2 sets, 10 to 15. So, okay. Last exercise of the workout is a rope hammer curl. Already done all the sets, just got one more left, which is the drop set. So as I'm working for more volume at the moment, I'm not using a lot of intensifiers, but this is pretty much the only one I have for the whole day. Just a final drop set to just really finish them off, essentially. I'm already pretty fried. What a great session. Overall, it's been quite nice this week to just really put the ego aside and start fresh with a complete different block, a different training system, and not having any kind of expectations in terms of what I'm lifting, if I can deliver with the progressive overload, etc. Sometimes, we get caught up in chasing numbers, and if we forget about other parameters or progressions, and we kind of get stuck into that system. So it's been nice so far to just, start fresh with something new. I wanted to quickly touch on creativity. I found myself talking about this with one of my clients. Having a creative outlet, enhancing and practicing your creativity, it's genuinely such an important thing. Not many of you might know this, but I've actually been a musician for a very long time. One of the main reasons why I moved to the UK from Italy, where I'm from, is to pursue music. And I always say this, music has been my one first love. I definitely have a distinctive ear when it comes to melodies and also putting notes and intervals together to create melodies. And this is partly why I talk about music a fair amount on this channel. Maybe not as much as I should, actually. Not should, but would. And honestly, the possibility to just
sit down on the piano or grab the guitar and write a song as a way to express my feelings and my emotions. We talked about that in yesterday's video, just expressing how you're feeling, but also elaborate things. Having a creative outlet is such a powerful thing and it's so helpful. It doesn't have to be in art form necessarily. Any channel that works for you works. As long as you find that one thing or multiple things that allow you to practice being creative. Because it's not just good to cope with the pain when that hits you or to elaborate and express your feelings and emotions, but it also has an impact on our cognitive function, meaning that we start thinking differently and look at different solutions and not being so squared and so black and white, being able to think outside the box and become better at problem solving, looking at things from a different perspective and find alternative ways to navigate through life. And you might think, well, I'm not good at drawing, I'm not good at music. First of all, you don't have to be good at them. The only one ingredient that you need is the will to learn. Everybody is going to suck at something the first time they try it. And maybe the second, the third, the fifth, the 10th time. It takes time to build a skill. You might be naturally talented at something, but even that natural talent will only take you so far. You're going to need to apply yourself and practice to actually develop the skill. So when it comes to learning an art form, there's that. You don't need to be good at it. You just need to be willing to learn. Also, you don't necessarily need to do art or anything artistic. You can be creative in so many other ways. You can be creative in the way that you build something. You can be creative in the way that you speak, that you express yourself. You can be creative in finding different solutions to different problems. You can be creative in managing people. You can be creative with your writing. You can be creative in telling stories, cracking jokes. There's so many different ways that you can express your creativity. There's also one final aspect about being creative that is just as important as anything else, which is the fact that it allows more authenticity. And by being more authentic, you will also be more confident. Every time you're using your creativity to make something work, your confidence will skyrocket. And honestly, it sounds cringe as fuck, but it's so true. And nowadays, in this society, all the technology that we have, our creativity is being compressed. I'm 30 years old. When I was growing up, we didn't have any games with the iPad. We didn't even have PlayStation. We really had to be creative in order to play games with each other, make stories up, use our imagination. And unfortunately, this quality is being more and more forgotten. We're seeing glimpses of that with TikTok or Instagram and social media and just content creation, which a lot of people demonize, but I actually think some of these videos are really creative. But aside from that, it's really being suppressed. So if we don't actively do something about that, if we don't take care of our own creativity, we're going to miss out on a lot of potential happiness. And with that, I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you so much for watching. If it's your first time here, I'm posting one video a day for a year straight. So feel free to like, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.